there are plenty of sightings and quotes where Hitler says that he is doing what he's doing because he's doing the work of God. I actually found a quotation where Hitler said that actually I am correcting the Christians. I am doing the work of God, but Christians, you have failed to do your job. You have failed to kill the Christ killers. I'm going to do the job for you. And that will prove that God is on my side, and that I'm doing His work. So there's absolutely no reason to connect atheism with Nazism. As with Stalin and Pol Pot, again, I don't see where you find the explanation that Stalin or Pol Pot killed people in the name or because of atheism. Again, I don't see neither factual nor historical evidence for this.
They were killing them in the name of the ideology that was atheistic.
Exactly. But the ideology was atheistic, exactly. But there is nowhere written that atheism, if you are an atheist, you must do this and that.
You must enjoy life, someone says.
Exactly.
On the buses, it's written.
Yeah. Exactly. There is no God, now relax and enjoy your life. I think that was Dawkins'
idea.
Campaign. So it's, again, a non sequitur. So,
okay. Final question. We constantly hear that without God, people have no morality or ethics, or less morality. That is, that morality derives from God. Can you name an ethical statement made or an ethical action performed by a believer that could not be made or performed by an unbeliever?
Yeah, thank you.
Excuse me?
And then the opposite.
Well, that was my question, and you will be the next one, if you agree. Huh?
Thank you.
If you allow me, the corollary question is name me an immoral or unethical action or statement that was done by a believer in the name of a God, and you can already think of some of them, and another.
Mr. Gustavsson.
I said in my earlier speech that one of the things that philosophy can help us with is to make distinctions, so we do not confuse different questions, and actually see what is different questions. And in this area, and the way this discussion is framed, is a typical confusion of different questions. I hope you know that I earlier said that atheists, of course, can do good, as can Christians. And atheists can do evil, as can Christians. That seems to be a human possibility. You need to distinguish here the question of, can human beings know good and evil? And I would say yes, atheists and Christians alike. We can know what is good and evil. You need to distinguish the question of, can we know good and evil, from the question, what is the basis of good and evil? That is two different kinds of questions. And what I've argued for here is that if there is no God, we don't have an ultimate basis for the knowledge we all share, that there is good and there is evil. But that knowledge then just hangs in the air. It has no ultimate foundation. Because if there is no God, ultimate reality is without the distinction of good and evil. Energy and matter doesn't care. It's not good, it's not evil, it just is. And going further, if there is no God, determinism will be very close at hand. As Richard Dawkins has written that about DNA, he says we just dance to its music. So we have no freedom. Well, if we don't have freedom, if we are just a determined outcome of our biological setting and the social conditioning, then of course we have a problem with really condemning the evil? Well, they just dance to their music. And our whole longing for justice, will be meaningless. The difference here is, of course, if there is a God, then there is an ultimate basis for good and evil. There is an ultimate moral norm in that God exists. And goodness has always been there. And then this universe is created. We are created as human beings. And we have knowledge about good and evil. And that has a base. And when we see the atrocities of human beings, we can condemn it. Not yeah, I think I stop there.
All right, let's open the floor for some questions, one or two. I'm asking you to say your name and then pose a question, not too long. I saw him first, so let's begin here.
Okay, so this will be a question for both, if you agree. Mr. Gustavsson, I would like to ask you, can Christianity, without actually what did Jesus say about it or not, but can Christianity interact with question of minorities regarding the women's rights, issues relating to race, sexual orientation, and so on? Because throughout the history, all these minorities were brutally oppressed in the name of God or Christianity, however they want to put it. And question for Mr. Szabo, you said that atheism had an emancipatory function, has actually. So tell me, Clara Zetkin, you probably heard of her. She was an atheist. She was a Marxist. But this is only an example. Why actually do you think that actually atheism is open for these questions, for minority questions?
Okay.
That's all.
Who will start?
Okay, I can start since it was raised to me first.
Yeah, all right.
I think this is one area which is one of the really strong areas for the Christian faith. A basic belief of a Christian is that we are one human race, that we belong together, that every human individual is created in the image of God. That is how the biblical story begins, that God created man in his image, male and female, and that every descendant from the first humans are, just by being related to them, God's image. Therefore, there is no distinction in value or worth because of your race or your gender or your sexuality or whatever. You are created in the image of God and worth respect, and you have dignity because of your identity as a creation of God. That thought, which is on the first page of the Bible, is then very strongly underlined in the New Testament, which says that in Christ there is no difference between races and between male and female, because in Christ we are one. So I think the Christian perspective here is a very interesting perspective, that in that it ascribes an absolute value to every human individual, regardless of our individual characteristics, regardless of who we are in abilities or disabilities, if we are well functioning or not functioning very well, if we are poor or rich, old or young, whatever we are God's image, and we are welcomed into God's family through Jesus Christ.
Attila?